And tonight we are especially pleased to welcome one of our nation's foremost scholars in the field of bioethics. With a PhD from Princeton, he is a professor of theology at Valparaiso University in Indiana, though during this current academic year he is serving as the Remick Fellow at the University of Notre Dame's Center for Ethics and Culture. He has authored numerous books in the field of bioethics, including Bioethics, a Primer for Christians, Body, Soul, and Bioethics, and most recently, Neither Beast Nor God, the Dignity of the Human Person. He is a fellow of the Hastings Center on Bioethics and Public Policy, and formerly served, along with 16 other renowned thinkers, on President George W. Bush's Council on Bioethics. In 2009, he received the prestigious Paul Ramsey Award for Excellence in Bioethics from the Center for Bioethics and Culture. He will lead our discussion this evening on the ethical problem of organ transplantation. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gilbert Mailander.
In order to try to understand why it seems to me we shouldn't buy and sell organs, I'm going to have to think through at some length what it is that is troubling about organ transplantation generally, whether organs are given or sold. You should understand from the start that this is not an argument that they shouldn't be given or transplanted, but it is an attempt to think through what's problematic about it. Cadaver donation most often means taking organs for transplant from bodies which, though they are what we call brain dead and sustained entirely by medical technology, do not look dead. Hearts still beat, blood still circulates, respiration continues. The very concept of brain death that has made this sort of liminal state possible has come under new challenge in recent years. It's not clear that the concept is always coherent, and it's a challenge that will eventually have to be faced, lest our criteria for death seem to be determined chiefly by our desire to procure more organs.
One of the features of our bioethics forums here is that it's participatory. So this is the discussion part. This is the part where you get to ask questions. Actually, I've set up a couple of the first questions to be asked by two practitioners and members of our bioethics society.
When does the gift become too much like a transaction?
What is the intended scope of that gift? Because my license just says organ donor. Doesn't say which ones. Doesn't profess any limits.
Is we never get all the solutions figured out. But that's why it's a forum. That's why these things are important to discuss. And I invite you to join me in thanking our guests for discussing that with us, especially to Professor Mailander for coming all the way from Indiana.